Welcome to another episode of Living in Tucson, your Tucson Real Estate Connection. And each and every month I go over what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. And it's that time of the month again. The numbers are out for May 2024. And the big question is, has the median home sales price for single family homes exceeded $400,000? Well, in this video, I'm going to dive on into it and let's find out. Hello, my name's Tyler Ford, Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty. And again, welcome to what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. And I like to cover each and every month what's going on so I can help educate people so they can make a good decision based on their situation, whether you're buying or selling and or maybe just staying put. So if that's you, this video is for you. So let's dive on into what's going on here in Tucson, Arizona in terms of the residential housing market. Before I cover what's going on here in the Tucson housing market, first like to cover interest rates to keep you updated on mortgage interest rates. As everybody knows, over the last couple years, the Feds got super aggressive. It was the most aggressive Fed rate hike in the history, and it definitely slowed down the housing market, and home affordability as a result of interest rates going up are at an all-time high. So it's never been more expensive to buy a home right now than it's ever been based on home values and mortgage interest rates. And the Feds have been all over the board lately. One minute they're going to lower, one minute they're going to stay put, one minute they're hawkish. So kind of giving up on trying to determine what the Feds are going to do. It all depends on trying to curb inflation, and that's really what they're after in regards to the Feds keeping rates the same, increasing rates, or lowering rates. So right now on a 30-year fixed, we are sitting at 6.99%, so just below 7%. On a 15-year, we are sitting at 6.29%. So rates are off the highs. We're as high as about a 7.5, got down to about 6.5. But my guess is rates are going to fluctuate between 6.5 and maybe 7. And I think going sideways is actually a good thing for this market. I think the worst thing that could happen is if the Feds do lower rates. A lot of people want that and they think that's a good thing, but I would tend to disagree because it'll only put upward pressure on home values. So I think going sideways for a little while is actually a healthy thing for this market. But interest rates are a big component to the housing market and whether somebody can afford a payment. But interest rates going down are a good thing as long as home values don't go up. But usually they do start to tick up because home affordability becomes more affordable to buy a home with lower rates. So time will tell. We'll see what happens. But because of an election year, my guess is they are not going to drastically raise rates, and we're going to go sideways between now and election time. The first number I want to cover is what we call percentage of list, and that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, what percentage of the list price is a seller getting. And just a side note here, percentage of list is based on the final list price. So if somebody does a price reduction in the MLS, it doesn't account for that. So percentage of list is based on the final list price. And I am in this video towards the end going to cover what percentage of homes did a price reduction and by how much. So that number is now available. It hasn't been in the past, so I'm going to cover that at the end. So percentage of list for May 2024 for all properties, single family homes, townhomes, condos, mobile homes in the MLS was 98.7%. So if you price your home correctly as a seller, you can anticipate you're going to get pretty close to the list price. As a buyer out there, there's a little bit of wiggle room. And again, as I show you later on in this video, you're going to be surprised at how many people actually did a price reduction. So that's revealing, and it's good news for buyers out there because it does give you some wiggle room in terms of price, seller concessions, and things like that. So percentage of list for May 2024, 98.77%. The next number I'm going to cover is what we call days on market, or DOM for short. And that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, how long does it take from the time that you list until the time that it goes under contract? It's not from the time that you list until it actually closes. And this number is based on single family homes in the MLS, and I looked at townhomes, condos, manufactured, and the number's pretty much the same. But days on market for single family homes, if priced correctly, 15 days going under contract. So if you're a seller out there and you're starting to exceed days on market, it typically means that you might be overpriced. If you're a buyer out there, make sure you run the comps and look at days on market, because it does tell you that. And if homes are exceeding days on market, again, typically means overpriced, and there's probably some room for negotiation in terms of price. So it's really important to look at just because it all comes down to price, and homes that are sitting on the market longer than the average days on market, again, typically means that they're overpriced. Okay, the number you've been waiting for. What are home values doing here in Tucson, Arizona? And the question I asked up front, is the median home sales price above $400,000? And the answer is no, but we're getting there. And before I get into what the number is, I'm gonna make a prediction. I don't think that we'll exceed $400,000 for the median home sales price in 2024. I think we're gonna go sideways, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. At the end of this year, do you think we will exceed $400,000 for the median home sales price here in Tucson for single family homes? Comment below, I'd like to know. But anyway, the median home sales price for single family homes May 2024 was $392,000, up year over year 4.7%. So we're slightly up, but I think we're gonna go flat to sideways, maybe slightly down, and so time will tell, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't think we're gonna exceed $400,000 for 2024. For townhomes and condos, the median home sales price, $260,000, up year over year 4%. So we're back to some normality in terms of home appreciation. A typical number on an annual basis is usually 4 to maybe 8%. So time will tell. But again, at the end of this year, in the comments, will we exceed 400,000? Yes or no? The next thing I'm going to cover is what we call average dollar per square foot. And this is really useful for both buyers and sellers when you're comping your home, either to list or you're looking at comps to write an offer. And what you can do is agents can pull what is called the CMA, a comparative market analysis, and they can look at the search parameters to get really tight on what you're looking at. And one of the components to a CMA is the average dollar per square foot, listed, pending, sold. And basically what you do is you take the average dollar per square foot, multiply it by the square foot, and it gives you a good value of an approximate of what the home is worth. So it's a really good way to take a look at comps, both on the buy and sell side, average dollar per square foot. So right now for single family homes for May 2024, the average dollar per square foot sold, again, this is sold, $241 a square foot, up year over year 4.2%. For townhomes and condos, the average dollar per square foot was $239 a square foot, up year over year 4.2%. But this is a really good number. I like to look at average days on market and average dollar per square foot when you're looking at comps in order to better understand the list price and your offer when buying and selling a home. The next number to cover is my favorite number. It's home inventory economics 101, supply and demand. And over the last couple years since COVID hit, we saw supply go down, demand go up, and we saw double-digit appreciation year over year when COVID hit. But for the last probably year and a half, we haven't seen that double digit, but homes have been appreciating more at a normal level. But it's something that I keep an eye on a daily basis, and people are always asking me, when is this market going to pull back and home values are going to go down? And I used to be in the camp that this market was going to see a huge pullback, and I no longer believe that, and has everything to do with home inventory and supply and demand. And in my opinion, home inventory levels would more than need to double in order to see this market pull back and home values start to decline. So as of right now, I just think we're going to be going sideways and more back to normality from an appreciation standpoint. Unless something major happens, I just don't see home inventory going to a place that's going to pull this market back. So right now in the MLS, there are a total of 1,962 active listings. The good news is, we've definitely started to tick up. We've more than doubled since the lows. So that's a good thing, but I would think we would more than need to double again to really start to see this market soften. And to break it all down, right now in the MLS, there's 1,541 single-family homes. There's 153 townhomes, 80 mobile homes, 161 in terms of condos, and 27 mobile homes listed in the MLS. So good news is there is more product and homes to choose from. But again, in order for market really to pull back, I think home inventory would more than need to double from its current place in terms of where we are right now. This next I'm going to cover is one that I have not covered before. It was information and data that we did not have access. And since they turned over to a new vendor, there's a lot of good information that we now have access to. And that is price reductions. So how many homes do a price reduction and by what percent? So I'm going to take my first crack at giving you some information I have not given before. So right now, active listings in the MLS, current listings that have not sold, there are 782 homes that did a price reduction. 40% of the active listings have done a price reduction by 6%. And so homes sold May of 2024, there were 316 homes that did a price reduction, which was 33% of the closed sales. There were 958 closed sales, so 33% their price reduction, and they did a price reduction by 4.9%. So this is valuable information for both buyers or sellers, but if you're a buyer out there, one thing that you can look at, agents can see the history of a home that's been listed and you see all the price reduction. So if a home's not done a price reduction yet, it's possible that they will, and the average is almost 5%. So when making an offer, that's valuable information in terms of potentially how much of a price reduction you could get when you're making an offer. So this is a number that I'm going to start to cover, and I think it's valuable information. But again, 40% of active listings have done a price reduction, and then 33% of the ones sold in May did a price reduction. From anywhere from 5 to 6% is the average. Let's wrap this video up, and just to summarize, this market and home values are holding strong. I don't see anything crazy happening being an election year in terms of interest rates, so I think home values, I don't see any big pullback in home values. But I would love to get your thoughts and for you to pull out your crystal ball and comment below. Do you think we will see our median home value of single family homes exceed $400,000 for 2024? What is your crystal ball? But if you're buying on an FHA or a VA loan, I would encourage you to maybe just sit tight and be patient, because if this market were to pull back, home ownership can be a liability and a burden if you're upside down. So you got to do what's right for you, make an educated decision. But again, if you're buying on an FHA or VA and not putting a whole lot of money down, and your mortgage payment is making you stressed out in terms of trying to make ends meet, I would encourage you just to be patient, sit tight, and wait for the right home to come around. So that's a wrap for my Tucson Housing Market Report for May 2024. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Do me a huge favor. If you got value out of this video, give me an internet high five by liking the video. If you've got any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below. And for more awesome videos about living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection, you can subscribe to the channel. If you hit that bell button each and every time a video comes out, you're going to be notified. In the meantime, make it a great day.